All right, everyone. Here is my ranking of the Cosmere, because the Cosmere is one of my favorite series, and I just want to talk about it. Also, since Wind and Truth just came out, it's really nice to really put out a video on my ranking. I'm going to breeze through a majority of the first few books because I don't care for them. In fact, I pretty much forgot all about them. So, I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it. Book 1, The Alloy of Law, or really I don't know what this is. This is my least favorite Cosmere book, so it's going to be going from least favorite to favorite. And I really, really, really did not like this book. It was boring as shit, and that's the worst thing a book can be. I was bored out of my mind, and I didn't enjoy any of it. I really didn't. I wanted to, but I didn't. Actually, that's not true. I did enjoy some aspects. I enjoyed being able to see how the world had progressed and see what the world now thought of the characters we had in the first era of Mistborn. But beyond that, I wasn't connected to any of the characters. I didn't care about anyone. And it was really sad. Anyways, Alloy of Law, not my favorite. Shadows of Self, same thing. Not a big fan. Didn't really work for me. I guess I'm not a big fan of the mystery, like Sherlock Holmes-esque stuff. It just wasn't clicking for me. I liked Wax. I know a lot of... Wait, no. It's Wayne. I think it's Wayne. I liked Wayne. That's about it. Wax was boring to me. Steris was boring to me. Everyone was boring to me. Yeah, that's... Oh, whoa. There was... that's not in this one. And then... the next one. Bands of Mourning. Same problem. Actually, no, I take that back. It is a step up from everything else here. And I don't know. I really did not dig Bands of Mourning. Other than, like, the ending. I really like that entire ending sequence, which I don't remember. I really don't. I don't remember the ending sequence, which sucks, because I remember liking it. But this whole quartet, not something that is very memorable to me. And I'll talk about it. I'll talk about the last book soon. Don't worry. But this book, not my favorite thing. It wasn't my favorite thing. Definitely one of my least favorite Cosmere books, but I did quite enjoy getting to learn more about Scadrial. I enjoyed getting to learn a lot more about the world and a lot more about just the way everything had evolved, because this felt like the most developed the world has been, or really the most we got to learn about the world of Scadrial in a really long time. And now, for the one after that, Well of Ascension. I do not like the Well of Ascension. Well of Ascension was easily the worst of the trilogy because it was all politics, and I wasn't very invested in the politics. I wasn't interested in the characters politicking all over the place and the internal strifes that we all had all across the book. It didn't hit me. It wasn't for me. Could it be for other people? Absolutely. Just not for me. Easily my least favorite of that trilogy. Anyways, what do I put above it? Elantris. Yeah, I like Elantris. I really like Elantris. I thought some of the characters were very memorable. I liked Raoden. I liked the whole story of the city of Elantris, of it being this kind of corrupted city, and we're working on it and going, and then boom, we're trying to save and heal this city. I thought it was really cool. And I really liked it felt simple, it felt nice, and it felt cool, and it felt a little smart as these things were going on, and I really, really cannot... I'm excited for the next Elantris books. I don't know where it'll go, but I quite like it because I think some of the places are awesome. Though, let's be honest, if I could include Emperor's Soul for Elantris, this would be just Emperor's Soul would be up there. It might be my favorite Sanderson work, so that's what I have to say. Now, for the next couple thingy-mabobs. The one after that, The Sunlit Man. So, I really like The Sunlit Man, but it feels more like a popcorn read, you know? Yeah, Sanderson's more popcorny when it comes to his reading, or when it comes to me reading his books, but I don't know, it was just cool. I'm watching Star Wars. I don't watch Star Wars for the... I'm sorry, that was not something I should have said. No, I don't watch Star Wars for the themes. But it's not the aim I'm going for. I actually really am connected to some of the Star Wars characters. What's a movie that's just like, you sit there and you're just going... I'm there for the ride, I'm there for the fights, I'm there for the... I don't want to say it's Indiana Jones. I really like Indiana Jones. But I heard people compare it to Indiana Jones. I don't agree with that. But it's really cool. It was really awesome for me to be able to see and try to guess things about Wind and Truth since I read this when it came out. And also, look at this cover. The Sunlit Man is an awesome title. It has an awesome cover. I love the world that we get in The Sunlit Man. It's just really cool. I love all the things about it. I love the magic. I love the world. And I love how the characters work with that. And I also love the art pieces that I get in here. I'm not going to show them to you. But actually, I'll show this one to you. Look at that. Look at that beautiful thing. It's amazing. I think it's awesome. And I loved the conflict. I didn't love the conflict. I liked the conflict. Definitely not my least favorite of the secret projects that I read. I didn't read that one. All right? Didn't read that one. But I quite liked it. And then, what do I put right above it? The Lost Metal. Oh my god, all the Cosmere references across the Lost Metal. And I think it made me care the most I had ever cared about any of this cast of characters. It made me more interested in the future of the Cosmere, made me more interested in everything that is going to happen in this Cosmere series. And really, the future of Mistborn. Because I really liked the Lost Metal. I really, really did. So everything after this is going to be, I really liked it. So don't flame me for the next book. it could get me in deep shit, okay? So, just don't hurt me yet, okay? Don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. I'm asking you not to hurt me. Are you ready? Okay, my next book is Wind and Truth. Jesus Christ, that's my phone. Hello. But Wind and Truth. Okay, yeah. It is. I like it. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 books. This is my 8th book. So 8th to least favorite. Do the math. I don't know how many books are in the Cosmere. I really enjoyed Wind and Truth. Do I like it as much as the earlier books? Absolutely not. I think it is my least favorite. I don't know, though. It's just, Catch Me Tomorrow, it might not be. But Wind and Truth was fantastic. It was a fantastic ending. I loved the ending sequence. It was all just so captivating and capturing and enrapturing, and I'm using a lot of er-ings, but I loved Wind and Truth a ton. I think the earlier sections really should have had some stuff like chop, 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 chop. We should have cut some stuff out. Sorry, Vera. She knows what I'm thinking about. Lane and Urin are in... Sorry. But, yeah, I think definitely a good chunk of this story could have been cut. There was a lot of filler dialogue, I think, and a lot of the dialogue needed to be edited. That, absolutely, the dialogue needed to be fixed, because some of the dialogue was... Ugh. And I say that as a guy who does not care about prose and really can easily shrug off dialogue. That dialogue was not very good at times. Anyways, and that's the only reason Wind and Truth is there. It is because I think the dialogue could get really jarring in some of the important moments. I think that I have my criticisms. Just go watch my review. Then, it is Hero of Ages. I love the hero... Wait. That's wrong. Hold on. There we go. Fixed it. Mistborn. I love Mistborn. Mistborn is a fantastic story. It's just so clean. I kind of want to reread it now because it's just satisfying. It's one of those books that I read it. It's not my favorite, But when I read it, I go, that's a full story. That's a story that I like. That was a fun story. I'm glad I read that. Like, just, again, not a story I love, not a story that is, like, super beyond, but it's so satisfying to the soul that it's like, you did well, man. That was a good story. The magic was interesting. The world was fascinating. I really do look at Mistborn with quite a fondness now. Now that I'm thinking about it, I really do look at it with a good chunk of fondness. Anyways, after that is Hero of Ages. I like Hero of Ages more than Mistborn. I love Hero of Ages a ton. Hero of Ages was chef's kiss. It was just fantastic, you know? I love this cover. Is that just me? I just really love this cover. It's so satisfying, and I now know what that scene is. Oh my god! That's really cool. Anyways, the way the conflict came to a climax, the way the conflict ended, and the resolutions, the way some things that had been brought back from the earlier books came in and wrapped up. Honestly, I think I like Hero of Ages a lot more than when I initially read it. I should probably reread this trilogy, because I binge read the trilogy, which was, I'm not sure if it was a wise idea, but I did it. It may not have been a wise idea. All right, so this is going to be my top 7. So, are you ready? My next book is Warbreaker. Oh my god. I remember reading, I think I read Warbreaker, then I read Mistborn, or maybe I read Mistborn, then I read Warbreaker. I don't remember. But I remember that when I finished one of them, I looked back, I think it was Warbreaker that I read after Mistborn. I think I went and said, I don't know why people don't talk about this enough. Warbreaker is better than Mistborn. All of Mistborn. I stand by that. I love Warbreaker. Warbreaker's fantastic. I don't like romances, but I was invested in the romance here. I really don't like romances, but I was so invested. It was so wholesome and sweet, and just thinking about it, it's like, oh man, that's just so... It's wholesome. I loved it so much. People are gonna be like, what? Wholesome? I thought it was wholesome. I loved all the, it's so tightly knit. It's a nice standalone. It's a standalone in fantasy. Come on, guys. It's a great standalone. I absolutely recommend it. One of my favorite works by Sanderson, period. I want to go reread it right now. I actually also want to get that leatherbound edition. I know I probably shouldn't, but, it's really tempting. I love Warbreaker. Warbreaker has grown on me even more over time. I love the magic, I love the world, but even more, I love the characters and their dynamics. It was so interesting to see how this also connected with other works in the Cosmere. Okay, so afterwards, this is a book that is my most controversial book. It's not controversial to other people, but it's like, one day, it could be, like, numbered, it could be a lot lower on this list. And then the next day, it could be where it is right now. I don't know why that is. Actually, I do know why. Anyways, come on. There we go! Oathbringer. So, the reason Oathbringer is this weirdly placed, it has a weird place in my heart. I love it. Ow, come on! Gotta hold you up like a fucking baby. Sit down. Sit down. I said sit down. Oathbringer has the highest highs and lowest lows. I'm bored out of my mind for so much of it. Shallan sections are boring. I do not like a section in the middle. But the ending, brilliant. The flashbacks, amazing. The Kaladin sections, the Dalinar sections, absolutely phenomenal. I love all those. But just like early on, I think there were sections where I just got bored, and it felt like Shallan was taking a lot of space, and I was getting bored with her sections, and I felt like a lot of the time, while reading Oathbringer, I'm just bored. Okay? Fantastic book, and so it depends. One day, maybe the downs and the boring parts weigh it down so much that I just can't think of it as my super top echelons of the Cosmere. And then the next day, I put it right up here and say, yeah, it's one of my favorites because of the ending. And it's all because of the ending. The ending is why I love this. And the flashbacks and Kaladin, there's a Kaladin moment early on in the book that just, I don't know why, but every once in a while I'll come back to it and I'm almost in tears. It's just so good. Anyways, time to move these down. You know, as one does. So, next up at number 5. Are you ready? Words of Radiance. Oh yes, I know. This top 5 is going to be really insane. The top 5 is probably going to be everybody staring at me and going, "You're insane. Alex, what the fuck is wrong with you?" And I'm going to stare back at them and say, "Yeah, I know. My opinion is better than you could ever have. You wish you had my opinion. You know you wish you had my opinion, because my opinion is better than yours. My opinion is right. Your opinion is just simply wrong. Accept it, or admit it. You can agree with me. If you agree with me, then your opinion is right. Otherwise, your opinion is just so simply wrong, and I feel bad for you. You shouldn't be so wrong. But I believe in you. You can fix it. You can learn to have the right opinion with me. Words of Radiance is one of the best books in the Cosmere. But it's number 5, dipshits! I'm starting a war already. I know I am. Flashbacks, amazing. Everything about this book, absolutely amazing. Do I have to say more? You've all read Words of Radiance. You know it's amazing. I've read this like twice. I got the... Oh my god, I need it. I need it. I got the, whatchamacallit, the Leatherbound. Ooh, I cannot wait. I cannot wait for the Leatherbound. I really can't wait for the Leatherbound of Words of Radiance, because that art too, the art of the stuff inside of it. I'm going to have to reread Words of Radiance. I know I will. But I'll do it over the summer, and when I do, it's just going to be like, and it'll be over. Because I remember I read this book in a week the second time I read it. Or no, the third time. Maybe it's the second. I don't know. I've reread Stormlight a good 3-ish times since I first read it back in late 2022. Phenomenal story. I do really love Stormlight. Anyways, number 4. Are you ready, everyone? Yumi and the Nightmare Painter. Oh, Yumi. I don't care for romances. I know I've said it. But this one, I loved it. I loved it so much. I just was in love with all these characters. I loved everything about the world. I loved their dynamic, the way they had to interact with the world, the way they were so stupidly forced to interact with the world, and the art too. Look at this art. I loved the culture. I loved everything about this. I actually won't show you this, but like, it's just so simple. It's so heartwarming. It's so fun, you know? I don't have cozy reads. Really, I don't. I know I mostly just read harsh, just brutal stories. 'Cause I don't typically like to read stories that aren't going to challenge me in some way. I'd like them all to challenge me, make me think. That's what I want out of every single story that I read. Yes, I know it can be taxing on some people, but that's just how I am. I like to be constantly thinking. But if I had a cozy story, it's going to be this one, even though it has some very fascinating questions it wants you to ask in terms of, I actually love when it came out because it was like the AI was starting to come up and there was so many interesting, like, what is art? And that is the question that Yumi and the Nightmare Painter seeks to ask. What is art? I love this book. It's so simple. It's so fun. It's so cozy. Even though I don't think a lot of people are going to agree with me calling it cozy. I love it, though, and I'm going to call it cozy as much as I like. Screw all of you who say otherwise. And then, are you ready? All right. Tress. Again, same reason. It's like a fairy tale. It's so much fun. This is like, it's like the collecting. It's just, it is so much fun. I love the world. I love the characters. I just love everything about this. It's this and Yumi. Like, they're like the fairy tale pair of the Cosmere, and I want more of it. I love this type of story. It is my comfort food. And, man, it's phenomenal. It's fantastic. So, I cannot wait to reread these, because I just love them so much. They're so simple, but they're so lovely. All right, time for the top 2. Do you know what number 4 is, everyone? Oh, let's go fight. Hello, everyone. How's it going? I know, I wonder how many of you are staring at me and thinking, what the fuck is wrong with you, Alex? Did you just put Rhythm of War as your number 2 Cosmere book? Answer? Yes, I did. I did just do that. Maybe on another day I'll put like Tress or Yumi above it, but that's about it. Nothing's getting above it. Oh yeah, except for the number 1, which, come on. Yeah, Rhythm of War is my number 2. Fight me. I love Kaladin's sections in this. Any of you who fight me, hold on, I forgot about her. So, all of you who have read Stormlight Archive, or at least have gotten up to Rhythm of War, this right here is Adelin's sword. I made it with my uncle. I'm gonna have to remake it, or remake the Conqueror's bi-weekly reader image that I have, because I want it to have my beard. But point is, we can do a duel. Don't worry. This beautiful lady right here, she will kick your fucking ass. I love Rhythm of War so much. The climax, I love Navani. I love so many of the characters. Only characters I did not like were the perspectives of Shallan. I didn't care for Shallan. One other perspective that we got in this book, and the flashbacks really weren't my thing, but beyond that, everything else was so good that I just gotta put it at number 2. It used to be my number 1, but I think I just kind of... It's this, or what you're gonna find out is my number 1 in a moment. I always bounce between the two of these. Ready? Way of Kings. I mean, I don't think this is a controversial take. Way of Kings is one of my favorite Cosmere reads. And, Jesus. Stop doing that, Maya. I don't want you to get hurt, and I don't want to hurt you. Specifically, I don't want to be hurt. Way of Kings, fantastic book. One of my favorites. And, yeah, just, I don't know. Something about everything is just so personal. I love the personal intimacy of when Sanderson writes close to the characters, when Sanderson writes personal narratives, I think the story is at its best. And that is what The Way of Kings was to me. Same with The Words of Radiance, even though it was cranking itself up. And then Rhythm of War brings it back down to that super personal narrative. And that is why I love that aspect of the story so much. Anyways, that's about all I have to say for today. I hope you all have a great day. And I'd just like to remind you that if you disagree with my opinion and you want to fight me, the beautiful Maya, who has Vera's approval, by the way, I just want to remind you of that. We're gonna fight. Don't worry. I'll make sure you get out very scathed. See you all next time. I hope you all have a great day. Please stop hitting everything.